Hello everybody and welcome to ASR Malaysian Grand Prix. It was a wet qualifying. Unfortunately my recording was not long enough to catch my qualifying lap, but we ended up on pole. We're just waiting for a couple of people to load right now. And then we go. Yeah, skip all that intro. As you can see, P1, we decided to alter the strategy, and we wanted to start on the hards. Bit finicky with that, but we ended up getting there in the end. We wanted to run the softs at the end, and as you can see, had a bit of problems with that. But anyway, time to get going. Just waiting for everyone to load, yet again. Seems that OP managed to qualify second, Stalin is third, and it's quite critical that we ended up finishing ahead of Stalin in this race, as he was our championship rival. BK qualified fifth, and Dynamite qualified sixth. I'm usually in a party with them, but for this occasion we decided to change. As you can, as we load, formation lap's a bit iffy, but it'll do. We'll just stick on board for the majority of it, which wasn't that long, as you'll see if you look in my rearview mirrors. A banana steamed down the inside of Grunting Tortoise. As you can see, I think he wanted to lead, because that'll be the one time he ever leads. No offense. But as you can see, due to Italy, I was a bit scared of passing him. But as you can see, I ended up doing it. I ended up doing it in the end after completely crapping myself. And you'll see here again, as soon as he goes down my inside, panic, and we ended up hitting. Nothing on him there. That was all me. But it got me removed, which was a bit annoying since he stayed. Anyway, on to the race start. We'll be sticking on board for the entire first lap, and lights out. And as you can see, I, of the top three, are the only one on the hard, so it was quite needed that I stayed in the lead. Take a very defensive line, and as you can see, Stalin looking for a way through. OP this race wasn't exactly the cleanest, as there was quite a few reports after the race, talking to Dynamite BK Stalin, that he had quite a bit of issues with understeer and oversteer. As you can see, got away cleanly and not challenged really. Well, obviously we're stuck on board, but as you can see, BK lost a bit of time on his start. The first lap was that was not great, but as you can see, Stalin's staying within touching distance, which I really didn't want at that stage in time, because basically, as I've said before, he was our championship rival, and if he didn't score points today, then that meant that if I finished first, I would get the drivers. As you can see, OP has made the move on Stalin to get the lead, and that's in turn held them up, and I've made quite a bit of a lead. We'll still stick on board, because obviously, as I've said twice before, this is my first time doing it, so sorry if I repeat myself a couple of times. As you can see, Oliver, a newcomer to the league, he joined last race I believe, has already made himself up into third, had an excellent qualifying of fourth, and I ran a bit wide there, but nothing too harmful. But good things don't usually end up happening. As you can see, obviously, part of the course, fastest lap. As you can see here, lap 8, everything's really died down. But I've still got the pace turned up, as yet again I go purple, and BK managed to make a move up to second as well with that. A bit finicky on that braking zone, not too proud. As you can see, lap 10, 2 laps later, yet again going around that final corner, and have a guess at what this is, as Nib leads from Dynamite. Oh look, another fastest lap. Nib at that point, as you can see, is pit. Well, obviously, I think we'll cut away. Yep. And this kind of annoyed me at the time. Going through, and I believe there's BK, and then there's OP, setting the fastest lap, taking it away from me. Can't say I was annoyed, because they were on the softs. But at that place in time, I was quite disheveled, and I changed my strategy for some unknown reason. As you can see, my engineer wants me to come in, so I do. My tyre wear is not looking that decent. But this was possibly the worst timing for me to pit, because at this point there was a rain stage coming. And you'll see, as we cut out, as soon as we get out the pits, it starts to rain. 2.9 is abysmal. You'll notice as well, Dynamite takes the lead, and I think Headshot will take second. But 2.9 is abysmal. But all of my pit stops that race were absolutely shocking. As you can see there, BK and OP just coming across the start-finish line, and now I come quite far ahead. And here's the rain. A lap later, it was kind of annoying, and here comes a back marker of Sparky Raven. Bit of lag, but by far one of the more better behaved back markers. I do squeeze him out there because I lost grip, and I do apologise to him for that. But yet again, cutting till the end of lap 14, and I come into the pits. And of course, my engineer, as always, bit late on the upkeep, decides to make the change to the inters after I've made them. Barely got it slowed down in time, so I did have a bit of a crap. But as you can see, coming into the pits now, BK, so he'll lose a lot of time to the people he's battling, which is Dynamite. I get out ahead of Sparky, so I don't get held in the pits, much to BK's delight. But as you can see, Nib is out on the mediums. He hasn't come into pit, which really does end up screwing him in the end. As you can see, just coming out the pits. And lap 22, is she going around the final corner, and perfect timing as always. As soon as I pass the pits, my strategist wants me to go onto the wets. At this point, there's nothing I can do. And I was quite annoyed at that point. You can see Dynamite heading into the pits, and I believe OP and BK too. Right, coming on to this person of Maznat. As you can see, he behaved very well, even though I left him little to no room. But he's on the wets, and you'll notice later on in the lap how much he is just all over my ass. And here we go, cutting on to later on in the lap, and as you can see, he is all over me. Doesn't matter that he's a lap behind, he's on the better tyres. And overall was a better strategy caller than me. I just let him through here because there's no point in battling him. He has the better tyres by far. And as you can see, the car ahead is Mofo, also on the inters along with me, and we're both struggling at that point. So it was actually quite smart for me to let Maz through. But as you can see, look at how far he got. Just from those two corners, he already flew away. And as you can see, I decided to dive in this time. Moz stays out, which was kind of peculiar, but I think looking back at it, he must have been on wets. But pulling into pits, 3.17 up on fuel, so not that good. But you'll see here, this is the worst pit stop I've ever seen. Look at how slow they are. 3-second pit stop. Absolutely abysmal. Dynamite is the car that's just about to go around the end of the corner, so I was fine. And hopefully we'll end up cutting out soon. We've still got like 10 seconds on it, god damn it. But coming out the pits, it's just time to punch it really. And I punched it a bit too far, as I completely missed my braking zone. Right, coming on to lap 28, and yet again, look who it is. Maznat. And yet again, he's made the call onto inters, which yet again was the better call. Obviously, since I was on lap 28, he was battling someone completely different. But it was kind of annoying to see him make those strategy calls and just basically breezing past me like I was nothing. As you can see here, I had like a second gap to him and he just closed it up. Yet again, seeing that he was on the better tyres, I just pulled over because there was no point battling him. And you'll notice how far he gets away in a second. Just going into that braking zone, completely missed it. I was quite appalled. As you can see, he's pulled away quite significantly. But that doesn't matter for me, because coming around the final corner, no competition the entire time. Dynamite's still only halfway down the straight. I come home to take the checkered flag for the win in Malaysia. Kind of a weird race, if I'll be honest. Going from the mediums So, sorry, the hards to the inters to the wets. I've never had a race like that. Dynamite comes home to take a well-deserved second. He did quite well to pull it back and gain a gap. But as you can see, I go around to check styling, and this is by far one of the closest league race finishes that I've ever seen. Side by side to the line, and Styling took it by less than half a tenth. That was ridiculous as judging by how close that was.